Okay, so now that we're doing Pisces for August, we can be serious a little bit. I'm not being sarcastic. I mean it. Oh, you think I'm going to give you the, oh, Pisces, you cute flake. You're so romantic and amorphic. Nah, nah, I know you. I know you. You are fast as a fish slipping through water. And it's not accidental. You're just talented like that. That's your energy. Mutable, but aware. Yes, you are all over, but not because you jump from one thing to the next, but because you are existing everywhere. So 1 second you're here, the next you're there. Because to you it's simultaneous, but to anyone experiencing, where did Pisces go? If I had liked Houdini, I would say like Houdini, but we don't like Houdini. But you're getting my point. Why don't we like Houdini? Because he made it his life purpose to discredit witches, psychics, seers. He was into his fake magic, right? Which is cool. That's a talent. He was amazing at that, but he made it about if he can't perform real magic, if he has to pull tricks to portray magic, then it's not because he can't, it's because it's just not possible. And everyone else who can are a fraud. Those people, when they can't do something that you can do, then they say that you're either cheating or faking because they can't deal with them not being able to. Jealousy. Houdini was a jealous mofo who hurt a lot of witches. He persecuted them, actually. Not a lot of people know this. So I'll give you his skill, but not his essence, because I like you guys, and I don't want to compare you to someone I don't like. But, it's also representative to something that you're experiencing. 5 of Cups in the reverse, yummy. There are certain things that just come to you really easy. That you just immediately tap into that skill, to that talent. You've probably experienced it. You've probably already mastered it in a past lifetime. So now it just comes easy to you. Whereas to others, it's a process, it's work, it takes time. So when they look at you do something with such ease, it drives them bananas. And instead of awe as to, Pisces, how do you do that? Wow. They're like, something must be wrong there. They're being shady, Pisces. A lot of your negative stereotypes have evolved by people who are jealous of you. You can't do what you do, so they've distorted your beauty into something seemingly bad. The Lovers. Yeah, let's talk about from the 5 of Cups in the reverse and the Lovers in the upright. You are no longer paying attention to that. You are no longer soaking it in. You realize that a lot of people just need to take a different path in order to get to where you're already naturally at. And instead of being present and allowing them to take their frustration out on you, you're just like letting them go through their journey. You're letting go. You're not using your ability to be everywhere to be everywhere. You're letting go of trying to be present in their energy, in what they're going through, and understanding them. And that gives them room, actually. to find themselves, to find within themselves that which they already see in you. And that way, they won't be able to take out their lack of ability onto you, right? Because you're not there to compare. They're just noticing what they can and cannot do, and what they're learning how to do, instead of noticing what you can do and they can't. And the focus is elsewhere, right? You are accepting, separating your energy from someone who needs to go their own way. Just focus the camera. They've had their doubts. They still have their doubts. And they can't really explain why, because you're so amazing. And they don't necessarily understand that their own psyche and or their own higher self really yearns to go through the motions themselves and discover those talents within themselves. And once they find those out, maybe then they can circle back to you and spend time with you without feeling bummed out. You know, and none of it is your fault. You know, it's just the nature of things sometimes. Once they feel like they can do that too, they're more confident to spend time with you. And you need to find the people who are there, so they're not threatened, and they don't get upset, and they don't get triggered, and they can't even explain why, because it's their inner wounded child that is triggered and needs and wants, but they don't really listen to their own inner wounded child, so they don't understand that it's their own inner wounded child being triggered. And you know, and you've already listened to your wounded child and your wounded teenager and your wounded past lifetime essence, and you're in that power. You're in those powers already. So stop acting like you're upset that someone doesn't see you. You know deep down the reason. Don't fall into your own stereotype, Pisces. The weak aspects of your own stereotype. Once you play into your stereotype, you become the stereotype. And then you enable the stereotype. Show me more, please, for Pisces, for August, about this. The moon. And you're watching me and you're like, no, Morgane, I'm still confused. I'm still in pain. I don't feel that confident. Stop. Take a deep breath. Ask to tap into your ancient wisdom. Ask to bring it forth. People who incarnate into being a Pisces carry a lot of power and wisdom from ancient worlds. You grow up in a society that guides you into being one specific or two specific focused things, and it doesn't align with your nature. And because part of your nature is also love and belonging and integration, then you adapt to that expectation. So you take on the societal expectations and you make them your own expectations of yourself. And you're like, no, but I need to be more focused. And no, I don't really understand. And no, I'm confused. These are all things that you were told. You were told that you're confused. You were told that you don't understand. When you were a child, fresh out of the spirit world, I'm quoting someone who once said that. They're a child. They're fresh out of the spirit world. I loved it, so I'm using it. You were fresh out of the spirit world. You were very much in tune. And then it got shut down. And in order to feel connected, you took it into yourself. You're like, oh, it's not something that someone imposed on me. This is how I think. This is me criticizing myself. This is my expectations of myself that I don't follow. No. Again, take a breath. This thing that you're feeling right now, stop. It's a show. It's a pretense. I know you don't mean to. It's not purposeful. You're not purposefully sitting there and pretending to be upset. You're experiencing it. A superficial exterior made up aspect of you is experiencing it. But once you break it down and be like, wait, that's not actually me, then it will no longer exist in order to experience. And then you won't experience it. So look at me. Calm down. Take a breath. Do you actually think you're that weak and that sensitive? Does it really hurt you that much that they left, that they're not interested? I mean, do you even really care so much? Or is it just the experience of what's the word, rejection that you don't like? Are you upset because they're not there with you, or are you upset because of the rejection, quote unquote? Because if you're upset about the rejection and not because that person is not there with you or that thing is not there with you, if you're more upset about the rejection, you're not really in pain. That's just ego, bruised ego. Ah, but I'm a Pisces. I don't have ego. Bull crap. Again, you just proved that you have ego. And that's okay. Ego never presumed to be bad. It just presumed to give you a sense of individuality. But when powers to be don't want us to have a sense of individuality, they demonize the thing that gives us a sense of individuality, aka the evil ego. Be like, I have ego. I'm upset for being rejected. I don't really even care about that person. Whatever. I just don't like being rejected. Because I know how awesome I am and it makes no sense to me. That is the truth, Pisces. Don't you freaking argue with me. You know what? Just for the game of it, go back a little bit, 20, 30 seconds. Say that with me. If it's really that inauthentic with you and not true, it will feel inauthentic. But if you say it a few times and it will actually make your body go into ease and your system go into calm, because that's what happens when we speak truth. Even if it's uncomfortable to other aspects of us, when we speak truth that is in line with our core, our system goes into ease. First, we have to maybe break through a resistant layer of some sort. But then once that happens, like once you say it once or twice and you pass through the trigger, then you start really feeling it. So try it. Then tell me that I'm wrong. Look, you can choose to stay in this nonsense. I'm so confused and I'm in pain and I can't see right and left. Okay, that's the story. Great, so interesting. Or you can just admit to your own power. Fish have cold blood. You can't have warm blood and be everywhere at once, or you'll lose your mind. Your heart will explode if you'll feel all the pain of everything. The fact that you still exist while being a Pisces, you have some cold blood, my love. Five of Pentacles. Ah, when we acknowledge winter. Acknowledging winter requires us to seek warmth and safety and to correct things. If we don't acknowledge winter, we don't do all these things. That's seemingly easier, but then it also buries us under the snow. Acknowledge winter, Pisces. You're out in the cold. This person left you. This thing didn't accept you. Now, what do you do? Are you going to act hurt? Or are you going to just be like, well, I don't have this, so I need to create this. I don't have this, so I need to create this. I don't have this, so I need to create this. And get to work. Don't you watch 10 videos, 10 tarot readers after me that tell you how innocent and sweet you are and how much they hurt you? To once again evade how powerful you are. Sit with this reading. Watch it again. Show me more, please, for Pisces for August. 7 of Wands. It's time for you to show that you know how to fight. It's time for you to show that you know how to be resistant and stand up for things and choose something in specific that you want. It's time for you to admit and act upon, yeah, maybe I'm everywhere because I'm fish, because I'm Pisces, I'm sorry. But that doesn't mean I don't have preference. That doesn't mean I like everything. There are things that I like better. There are things that give me more joy. There are things that give me more satisfaction. There are things that make me feel better about myself. Like success. Like admiration. One of the biggest frustrations of Pisces people is that even though they love success and admiration, they don't admit it to themselves and to their environment because they're supposed to be the spiritual, all-encompassing person. And this applies to even people who are Pisceans, but they're not into astrology and they don't know these things. They carry that, that image of I'm like the Jesus archetype and I need to be this. You love success and you love admiration. Sorry, I'm trying to, every time I do this, it's not, I'm like trying to refocus my camera. I don't know what's going on. It happened with Gemini as well. I want you to see clearly and not in blur. 8 of Cups. You are moving away from the old stories, from the righteous indignation, from the martyr, holy complex. Okay? You're cutting through the bullshit. Justice. You're cutting through the bullshit. You're being true. And you're starting to be very discerning with what you allow in your life, what you pursue, based on what you truly like. Based on who you truly are. And that's when things will start aligning, and that's when people will start sticking around, and that's when situations will succeed and follow through, because it will be things that are actually aligned with you, that your spirit is actually excited about. Okay? Because if you pretend to be the flower girl that doesn't care at all about money or success or whatever, every time you go into that place or into that story or meet a person that aligns with that story, it will collapse. It will fail. Shit will start happening that just makes you feel betrayed and makes you feel left out and makes you feel all of that. But when you start going to the places that are more competitive, that give you the opportunity to succeed in the way you want to succeed. Yeah, maybe achieve a higher status, maybe make more money, maybe be seen as someone special or important, a VIP. Some of you would never admit to yourself that you want to be a VIP in a club or anywhere, whatever. But the truth is, when you get somehow to be a VIP, you relish in it, and you don't always admit it to yourself. Let yourself relish in it. The only bad in relation to good is when you lie to yourself about who you are and you put yourself in situations that are not conducive to your essence, hence are bound to fail, so you keep getting hurt. That's being cruel to yourself. You're being cruel to your own essence for societal expectations or for your own, egoic expectations, because it's the biggest ego to be like, I don't have ego. It's the biggest ego to say I don't have ego. First of all, it's not true. You're a human mechanism, you have ego. You have a brain, you have ego. If you're in a physical world, it means you need to survive in the physical world. You cannot survive in the physical world without having boundaries, healthy boundaries of protection. You cannot have healthy boundaries of protection without a perception of a self that, although is also connected to everything, yes, we're all molecules at the end of the day, but is also separated. And for you to have an individual separated sense of self, that requires ego. So if you're in this world watching me right now through the screen, if you're breathing, if you're eating, if you're sleeping, you have ego. And saying that you don't, and you only seek for things that don't put you on a pedestal or aren't like, success oriented, goal oriented, that's when you actually let your ego go into the dark space, into its shadow space. And that's when it's an unhealthy ego. But admitting to have it and operating from it in a healthy way within this world, that is healthy ego. And much less ego than saying I don't have ego. Okay? You're not a flower girl. I'm sorry. I know you love flowers. I love flowers too, but you're not a flower girl or you're not a flower boy. You're sharp AF. And it's time for you to admit it, to own up to it, to live by it. It's time for you to succeed in the world, to feel good about yourself in the world, to be acknowledged in the world. And that way, you won't feel like the moon and the Five of Pentacles all the time. Is this focusing? What are we going to do with the focus of this camera? It's a new computer. I bought it because I spilled wine on my old computer and then it just stopped existing. So I had to buy a new computer and I like it. I really like this laptop, but and the camera is sharp when it's sharp, but oh, there we go. I don't know what to do with this whole focus thing. Ah, can someone give me some cinematographer advice on how to handle this thing? Hello. Okay, that worked. Just watch me like you watch a blurred dream. Wheel of Fortune. Listen, as soon as you start acting like yourself, like your true self, your life is going to change. Like it's going to just turn around upside down. Okay. And it's going to freaking amazing. Just roll with it. Roll with it. Don't hold on to the narrative. Ace of Swords and the Devil. It's the dawn of a new you. It's not very new, though. This little devil has been inside of you for a very long time. And it was controlling you because you ignored it. Like Jung said, until you make your unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Your true essence has been stirring up a fight inside of you, making shit that doesn't align with it collapse. And you're like, why did that happen to me? You did it. Your own inside did it. Cutting through the bullshit because it wanted to come out and play and be who it is. No, not evil. It's not the biblical Christian devil. This is pun, right? The Greek mythology. The baby god that was born on the Olympus but was so ugly. So the gods were like, you can't be a god on the Olympus. You're too ugly for us. Like, how cruel. How cruel. Because the baby isn't pretty enough, so they cast him to planet Earth, to the regular kingdom of the living, of mortals. And he was also too ugly for them, because humans are just as cruel as the gods. We are made in their image. So he hid in the woods, in the forests, hiding from the gods' contempt, hiding from people's fear and cruelty. So he represents the core wound of us all. We're feeling exiled from society because we're not good enough. Being persecuted and then being blamed as a monster. Right? Because the ugly thing that is hiding, that's scary. So the stories upon stories upon stories about the cruelty of Pan. this dude, it's the story of the witches. Powerful, powerful, wise women who stood outside of the narrative or above mediocrity and were vilified for it. It's the same old story. Being amazing, being jealous of because of it, and so vilified. Because no one wants to admit that they're jealous of you. Better to say that you're just nasty. It's not that they can't be you, they don't want to be you. But they'll take and use what you know while vilifying you. This is what Christianity did to witches, by the way, and did to Pan. He became like the evil creature in hell. It's fucking hysterical. Real witches have no idea who this Christian devil is. The devil of Christianity. I don't mean like a Christian devil. Forgive me, my fellow Christian friends. I don't mean that you are devilish. Although you kind of are, cutie. Okay, in a good way. All right, I mean the Christian devil. The whole witches dance with the devil kind of thing, that's a Christian invention. Like, it's not true. Like, ancient witches will have no idea what you're talking about. Like, who, what? Dancing with the devil? What? Who? Am I dancing? Who did you say I'm dancing with? And what? I ate a baby? What? The same stories that were told about the same type of vilification, by the way, that was told about the Jewish people. Right? See a repetition here in the vilification and the demonization? Lilith ate babies. Who? Witches eat babies. Who? Jews eat babies. Who? It's the same freaking dumbass story that dumbass ignorant cultures keep believing in different times in history about different people. It's because they don't fucking read books. When you don't know history, when you don't see that this story, this demonization was told about so many in the past, and what do they have in common? Wisdom, beauty. So this is wonderful to have in you, Pisces. This is not an insult. The fact that you're looking at it as an insult is an insult. Let it out. God damn it. Goddess damn it. Out. Be you, boo. It's time. It's time for the samurai to stop pretending that they are a flower girl and pick up the sword. Again, you can still love flowers. See all the sunflowers? Yay. Go be rich and buy all the flowers you want. But I can walk around in the field and have them for free. Oh, God, you're doing it again. I can't. You want to play? You want to play that? There's nothing wrong with being a flower girl. Flower girls are lovely and beautiful. What's wrong is pretending to be something that you're not. That's what it's about. It's not about the thing that you're pretending to be. It's about the pretense in it and of itself. Why do you think so many Piscean have the reputation of being wishy-washy? Because many Pisceans are wishy-washy with themselves. They don't admit to who they truly are to themselves. So inevitably, they become wishy-washy with the world. And the irony is you're being wishy-washy with yourself because you want to be that lovely, loving being. But then you don't act lovely, loving being to other people. You act wishy-washy. So what's the point? This is driving me insane. Focus. Sorry, Pisces. I apologize. I'm sure it's driving you insane as well as I'm being driven insane by this. I apologize. Seriously, if anyone has a tip to give me, please feel free to write it. Like, is it the lighting that makes it like that? Is it because there's so much light? Okay. You know what? F it. Whatever. I'm in focus. I'm in blur. Whatever. Okay. Let's get back to this reading. Oh, it's been long. 33 minutes. Ooh la la. So August is a transformative month for you. You're basically opening up from the inside out and becoming a different person. You're showing who you truly are. Some people are not going to like it. There will be times where you're going to be like, what am I doing? Who am I? That's okay. Just roll with it. It's going to initiate a brand new start, and things that you will manifest and will come into your life, and opportunities and people and connections that are going to be completely different. And this time, it will be things that can actually follow through in your life and happen, will actually happen. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you are a woman, a feminine, who every time she meets someone new, she exerts her healing properties and abilities and tells them, I'm here for you, I want to take care of you. But things never work out. As soon as like the guy goes through something and she shows up and it's like, let me help you, let me take care of you, they're like, I don't know, something along those lines, and then things just don't work out, they phase out, they cut, they whatever. And you're like, why things keep not working for me? I'm so amazing like that. Healing is great. Yeah, healing is great, but what if I tell you you're actually not into healing them or being there for them like that? Maybe what if I told you you're actually looking for someone who's very strong and healthy, who can take care of you and who doesn't need you to take care of them. What if I tell you that if they accept it like that, you'll end up resenting them? You don't know that about yourself because you never got the opportunity to get there. Because if you'll get the opportunity to get there, you'll be in shock of yourself. But as soon as you stop with that bullshit, and this is just an example, it could be anything. As soon as you stop with that bullshit, and it's like the person is sick, let him rest for a week. Don't be like, let me bring you some soup. Be like, no, I don't want to catch it as well. So take care of yourself. I'll see you when you get better. Shit like that. But you won't do that because that doesn't align with the holy story of you. It's not to say you're not holy. It's not to say you're not a healer. It's not to say that there will be situations where you'll get to express your healing abilities. But maybe let someone, do it for themselves. Maybe expect them to do it for themselves. Maybe don't act like you're their mother. Maybe it's not that they resent the healing. No one resents healings. That they just are uncomfortable with you acting like their mom. It's kind of weird. Kind of loses of the sex appeal. Who am I triggering? What am I triggering? Okay. This is a great reading. I'm really, really pleased. And the reason I'm pleased is because if this is the message that I received to give you, it means that you can handle it and that you're ready for that next level, you know? It's compliments to you. Um, Let me show you your extended by showing you what I like to do. So let's take the major arcanas. This is my personal oomph to tarot readings, my existential tarot, where I like to take all the major arcanas and see the archetypal and spiritual influences, and sometimes karmic and so on and so forth for the month of August. And let's see if there's any repetition in the numbers. We have 2 5s. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for whoever said bless you. And Ace of Swords, 7 of Wands, 8 of Cups, not as meaningful because I want to focus on the repetitions. All right, so 2 5s and all the major arcanas, no court cards because it's not about other people. This is about you. I don't like when people make it about me. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You just don't want to be the reason or the cause or to believe that you chased it or asked for it. You like it when it happens without you doing anything for it because, you like the attention, but you have the ego to not admit that you like the attention. It's a read, Pisces, but it's one of the most important reads you'll ever get. And I'm saying it with love and admiration. I'm not saying any of this with judgment. Okay? So we're going to check into these 2 5s. I'm going to pull more cards and clarify them. We're going to check more into this. I'm going to pull more cards and clarify and speak more. And then I will finish up with runes. And you can find it on Patreon and on Vimeo. Links are below. And if you want to study tarot from me, check out Tarot Masterclass 𝖎𝖘𝖙𝖎𝖆𝖑. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.